What's good, y'all? It's your boy Terrence Carter, TC Talk, TC Fitness, and I'm glad to hear my people back at it again with another video. I want to welcome y'all to Everlasting Awareness. All right, now, once you wake up from the Matrix illusion, you cannot go back to sleep. All right, there's a couple things I want to talk about when it comes down to this system, and I've watched a lot of different movies that showed us the truth. Us meaning me, you, the world. Yes, we are living in the spiritual realm, right? It's just we have a 3D point of view. Okay? Now, movies like The Matrix, They Live, The Truman Show.
We are all living in our own versions of the Truman Show. And once you realize that this entire reality is false. This entire reality is not real. The money, the power, the fame, the things that people chase is false. It's not real. But when you start to connect with your divine self, you see this. And you see that even the religions that people cling to are part of the false reality. There are a lot of truths to religions, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of truths, and they have a lot of truths, but if anything tells you to fear, if anything tells you to be scared or whatever, that is part of the false reality, bro. A lot of these things are metaphors. A lot of these things are stories and parables, and the way that they've been written is enough truth to get you to realize what's going on, but enough lies that it keeps you stuck in the same programs. And this entire reality is a program. And the thing about the Truman Show, which I absolutely love, and I think I'm going to do a video like deconstructing it because it's fucking insane, is in the end, despite what the Antichrist, despite what the Creator creates of him and created of his reality, he decided to follow his intuition of what he felt was right. And as he followed it, he went up the stairs, and it's funny because like Stairway to Heaven, and he opens the door and enters a blank space of the unknown. And it's funny too because when he opens the door, it's all black. It's just empty space of the unknown, and he trusts it. He trusts to go in it, and he refuses to stay in the spot that makes him safe. And it's funny because the false creator of the reality, Christoph, Antichrist, Satan, however you want to describe it, uses and feeds off of your fear, because if you notice in the movie, he mentions the fear is what will keep him back. He uses his fear that he had from a kid, but Truman learns to overcome that fear. And when he overcomes these fears and these traumas and things like that, that is when he's able to reach the next level. Which that was honestly a beautiful movie that describes exactly what's going on. We have the free will to decide what reality we want to live.
The movie with Justin Timberlake, and he has like the time thing on his forearm or near his wrist, whatever. Same thing. Movies like that really showed the truth in plain sight. And I've been going through plenty of spiritual awakenings on this channel. Well, just in life in general, but I've been showing it on this channel. Talking to y'all about what's going on in America, talking to you guys about retaining your energy, talking to you guys about being on no fat, helping y'all try to escape the W2 system, because the W2 system is rigged against me and you and the entire working class. And the more that I see, the more I can't unsee. First thing I want to talk about is, and this is just off the top of my head, you don't need external validation from the world. You need internal validation from yourself. And I'm saying that because your brain is wired by dopamine. You have healthy dopamine and then you have negative dopamine. And sometimes we can get dopamine from these apps and we feel like we are being approved by other human beings on the face of this earth. When the truth is, their approval shouldn't matter as much as your approval does, excuse me, as much as your approval does of yourself. You got to learn how to love yourself unconditionally. You have to learn how to stop seeking the validation from random people. And I can definitely tell myself that because I come on YouTube and I'm like, subscribe to my channel, like the video, this, that, and the third. But just because I say it doesn't mean you're gonna do it. It helps. It helps if you subscribe. It helps if you like the video. Those things add up. But usually, I'm the first person to watch my video. I've learned to love what I've created. I've learned to love myself unconditionally. I've learned to wake up from needing the approval and validation from other people because at the end of the day, yeah, I don't control my life. Yeah, I don't dictate my life. I do. And you should feel that same way about yourself. You shouldn't need the likes and the followers on the Instagram and all this stuff to feel good about yourself because at any moment in time they can shut this whole internet stuff down. A lot of things are smoke and mirrors in this matrix, bro. Reality TV, it's all fake, it's all scripted. The news, they're reading off a teleprompter. Who's writing what they're saying? You know, rap music push you in a low vibration, a low frequency. Yeah, some music you can sit there and say, I relate to what they saying, and I can it helps me get through hard times and X, Y, and Z. But a lot of the music that they put out is meant to lower your frequency, to lower your energy, to have you think about, you know, to have you thinking that, selling drugs and all that stuff is cool and being a knucklehead is cool, listening to drill music, all that extra stuff, all that stuff is not cool. That's another part of me of waking up in the matrix, waking up to the truth. Everybody want to be a rapper. Everybody want to try to be a athlete to make it out the hood, out the trenches, right? Everybody want to try. But what about just being yourself? A lot of people got a better chance of getting struck by lightning than they do being a professional athlete. I start thinking about sports and like me personally, I used to play basketball when I was a kid. Yeah, see, I got a basketball tattooed on me. It kept me out of a lot of trouble. I still love basketball to this day. But do I play it as much? No. I don't know. Last time I actually hooped like on some 5-on-5 stuff. You know? Basketball or sports in general saved a lot of people's lives, but it also you gotta have a sense of direction. Like, cause everybody's not gonna make it to the pros. And I'm not saying, oh, just because I didn't make it doesn't mean nah, bro. It's just the real. Do you have a plan after you stop playing basketball? or football or hockey or soccer, whatever sports is out there in the world. Those sports draw a lot of attention, right? Or even baseball. But you still gotta have a plan outside of that. When it comes down to money, finances, they're not gonna ever teach you how to get rich or wealthy in school. School is a concentration camp. You go to school to get taught by other people. You get graded, which in real life, in the real world, you're not gonna get graded. Because in life, you have to be disciplined. You have to be hungry. You have to go out there and get it. You have to have the awareness of self. You have to be a critical thinker. Those things are not taught to you for a reason. But school teaches you how to be an employee, but it never teaches you how to be an owner, how to be a boss, how to make things work, how to have people working for you, how to have your money working for you. You're not taught that in school, but it's by design. It is for a reason. It is so that you can keep the system going. They want you to work until you croak. I need y'all to let it sink in your brain. You were put on this planet to create. You were put on this planet to discover your higher self. You were put on this planet to reach your higher to I said discover your higher self, but to also reach your higher self and to challenge yourself. You was not put on this planet to work for somebody else for 50, 60 years of your life. They look at us melanated people and think that slavery still exists when we're not slaves. So many of these older people are out of touch. That's the truth. 70 years old, 75 years old, 80 years old, 65 years old. A lot of them is out of touch. And it's crazy. Just imagine if they taught you how to own assets, which is something that puts money in your pocket, something that helps you build wealth. Nobody can outwork the stock market. Nobody can outwork an asset. Nobody can outwork candlesticks. Imagine if they taught you how to own assets. Nah, they teach you how to get a good job, get a stable job, get a job with a pension. And benefits. Meanwhile, in the W-2 system, you're basically paying for everything. Think about it. You got to pay to get to work, put gas in your car, or you transportation. A lot of the times you go on a lunch break, you got to pay to eat. They take things out of your check to pay towards what? Your health insurance, the Medicaid, Medicare, your Social Security. Those things are taken out of your check from, and a lot of people don't even know if they're going to live to see that age because the food is crappy. A lot of people don't work out. A lot of people are stressed out over their jobs. It is a system of human destruction. And while the rich and the wealthy get rich and wealthier, they do that off of the ignorance of the people. Plenty of people could be an owner. Plenty of people can learn about the stock market. Plenty of people can learn how to trade. You have to learn how to be more grounded in your energy and see the real. Yes, yeah, bills is never gonna stop. We all gotta pay bills in life. Bills are man-made too. Somebody decided that we're gonna charge this person X amount of dollars to live here, X amount of dollars to pay this phone bill or electricity bill. It's all man-made. Somebody came up with the idea. Why? Because we live in a capitalistic society. We live on a floating rock that's ran by money. That is also man made. So they stress you out with the job. They stress you out with the low pay. You got to pay bills, so you give your money back to the system. You're not taught how to get ahead financially. People think the only way of getting rich is being an athlete or being a rapper or things of that nature. When you work in a mundane 9 to 5 job, you're doing the same task every single day. You're not being creative. You're numbing your mind. You're getting brain rot. They expect you to work until you croak. Who designed the system? And you're taught these things from other people that are in the system. It is brainwashed until its finest. Majority of the world is brainwashed, and they don't even realize it. You can't chase money because money is printed out of thin air, and they're printing the money faster than you can get it. You can attract it into your life, but after you make some type of money, what are you doing with it to keep it? Some people work these jobs and forget about their health. They forget about their mental well-being. They forget about their physical health. All because of what? A paycheck. I'm not blaming money. No, I'm blaming the job. I'm blaming the system. I'm blaming the fear mongering that they do to the human species. Because they tell you if you don't work harder at this job or if you do X, Y, and Z, we're going to fire you. That is a form of control. These people want control over your life and you're not seeing it. It's your life. They get a manager title, they get a supervisor title, they get all these higher titles when at the end of the day they all gonna croak. Just like everybody. Everybody got an expiration date. And I don't mean to sound mean, I don't mean to sound disrespectful, I don't mean, but it's the truth. Titles fulfill an ego. Your soul, your spirit knows the truth. A title means nothing. Be present with yourself. That's all that matters. It's just me expressing myself. Because I think about a lot of this stuff. And I get the best information when I'm in solitude, when I'm just by myself. You know? So, that was just a quick video for the channel. I know this was kind of a long video. I'm trying to constantly work on the watch hours, work on the watch time, and if y'all want to subscribe, y'all can. But I'm no longer gonna be asking for you to subscribe or asking for you to like the video because at the end of the day, you do what you want to do. All right. It's your boy Terrence Carter, TC Talk, TC Fitness, Everlasting Awareness. Yes, sir.